right. And we are live on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And we are live on Facebook. Not yet.
Stupid Facebook.
It's stupid Facebook. It
Yeah,
always
they're always
is.
like a minute behind.
It is. It's kind of. It's one of those. It's one of those platforms that you just love.
We're here. We're
Well, we're
thinking
live. We're
like
live on YouTube. I'm gonna.
Oh, we were not talking crap about YouTube at all.
oh no, see
Algorithm.
YouTube, you algorithm. We love YouTube.
Love.
We love YouTube.
Facebook. Love.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get Facebook connected real quick.
Hashtag viral.
Hashtag viral. See if it picks up that voice recognition.
Dude, you know what? Technology is getting pretty freaky. Like you'll have conversations with people, and then all of a sudden there's an ad for something. Have you seen that? You've noticed
That
that, I'm sure.
happens all the time. That happens
Dude,
all the time.
it is crazy.
Jimmy James, shall we start or just
Yeah. Let's get going, and I'll wire it up in the background.
Okay. All right, everybody. What's up? Welcome to Talking Shit with Tania Estrada. I am your host, Tania Estrada, and this is my co-host, Jimmy James Callahan.
What's
you
up?
know
What's
him
up?
best. You know him best as the bass player for Saint Nectarios, formerly known as Slaughter Before Slaughter, and the brain behind a lot of our acts today that you would have no idea what it is because we're not going to tell you. You're going to have to find out for yourself. You're going to have to go down the rabbit hole. So thank you guys so much for being here. This is episode 3. And today with us, we have my very special guest. You guys know him as Tiburcio. You have seen him in the Pokemon skit. You have seen him in the Sancha Day video. He played the lawnmower guy or El
I did.
Jardinero. Yes, but I know him as my good friend. Please give it up for you guys for my good friend, Eddie G. Woo! Eddie.
Is there like a sound effect in the background? Like, yeah.
Right here. Yeah, a round of applause. You know what? I ordered that sound effect box, but it's stuck on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah. No, right now everything's stuck.
It's
well,
not.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really cool of you to have me. Hopefully, you can get that by the next one that I'm on. Hopefully, it'll be here.
Yeah.
I put that in my writer. You have to include applause and a standing ovation when you introduce me.
I totally forgot. Let me stand up. Oh,
Thank you.
You know what? And if the thing doesn't arrive here by May, then I will make sure to hire a few kids around the block, and I'll get them to clap on the outside of the porch real loud and stuff. Yay! I'll get a sound effect going, but you're right. I do need a.
I'm kidding. Thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on a Friday night with us. I know that you usually spend your Friday evenings with your family. And during this time, you spend it with your family on FaceTime.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, right? Like, have you guys been doing much of that? Like FaceTiming family and like hang out with friends online?
Yeah, that's been what it is. It's just this is the new norm. This is us thrown into the future. What the Jetsons built for us long ago.
We've been using an app. We've been using an app called House Party. Have you tried that one?
Oh, I heard about. That's where you can play like games with people, right? I tried another one called Jackbox with my family, but I heard this one. What is it called? House Party. Yeah, I gotta try it out. That seems like a cool thing.
It's I gotta tell you, it's so smooth. There's no lag, and the games are sharp. They're so fun. They've got like it's like a Cards Against Humanity type of game, which is really fun. There's a draw. Check it out. It's really fun. Yeah, it's cool. House Party plug.
Yeah,
House Party.
that Jackbox one has a similar one, like where you could draw, but you need 2 devices. You need either a phone to play or an iPad, and then the computer one. And so, if you don't have 2, then kind of don't get to play.
Oh yeah, no, House Party. It's all on one device. The app is so slick. Like it's really, really well made.
Wasn't there something about it like leaking information or something like that recently though?
They all leak information.
Yeah.
They all leak it.
Like,
Nobody's
this dude sucks at drawing. Pass it on.
You start getting those Phoenix online college courses for art.
I'm telling you, we were just talking about this. It's crazy because I was talking to one of my friends on Instagram, and it was a text message, and then it was something random, something that I would never ever look up. We were talking about Tom and Jerry cartoons, and then all of a sudden on Instagram there's like this ad for some shoes that were like Tom and Jerry themed. Like that's just like, it's creepy as hell.
Creepy.
Man. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
creepy.
But that's the currency, selling information. Anyone want to buy some of my information? I'm down to sell it to you.
Yeah. Well, that's how it should be set up, right? Like you should be able to either auction off or set a flat fee for your data.
Yeah.
But like we move so quickly into this age of technology that nobody reads the terms of service,
No.
And so it's
and then they can change them too, right? Like they can change them at any time. They don't have to notify you. It's like, oh, we changed the terms. You should have kept up with it.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Like there is like, I know we're totally going off topic here, but but it's like, it's people are trying to do that. Like they're trying to make it so that companies have to pay you for using your data, or at the very least, like let you opt out, which that wasn't the case before. But
yeah,
well go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, back in the day, remember when you had leads, when you were doing sales or cold calls, you would buy phone numbers to call of certain people that would possibly buy, and people would telemarket and they would call for those numbers. Now it's the same thing. Now they'll go in and be like, we have 50,000 email addresses, and they'll sell them off for like 3 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents. Right? Isn't that how they do it?
I'm sure.
Yeah. Tell us, James, how does it
work?
What were you going to say? Internet work?
What were you going to say, James?
Well, no, you go down to the corner and there's a little guy with a jacket, and he opens it up, and you can either buy a fake watch or an email address.
Right?
You want Eddie G's email? I got Eddie G's email, personal and business.
It's real hot.
Yeah. Hot commodity.
Well, the name of the game is unique identifier, right? Like figure out what the unique identifier is and then tie all the data together so that it's not just an email address, because an email address isn't really valuable anymore. But if you know how much that person makes and where they live and how many kids they have, and, you start tying together all these different data sources based off of either that one email or even worse yet, like your Facebook ID, because Facebook put a lot of time and energy into clearing out, double accounts and bogus accounts, because they wanted every single person to be represented by only one account. Then you start getting into like, oh no, this is scary, because your profile and your metadata is just so deep and just so complex.
Yeah. And the more that you interact with stuff, the more that it learns about you. And it's like that ad for what's it called? Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Like it's all about commerce though, but it could be used for like nefarious. I'm using an SAT word. Nefarious purposes.
It could be, like,
hey, that fucker is sexy, eh? And he's smart.
Well, like, in the when you think about like the world of advertising, like it is scary and it's intrusive, and you get those little ads that follow you around. But if you think of an extreme positive, let's say you have a kid, and your kid has
that's not a positive, James. For a guy like me.
Let's say you have a planned child.
A planned child. Thank you, Jesus. All right.
Okay, let's say you have a dog, right? Let's say you have a dog.
All right.
And let's say your dog has like some weird rare like heart condition, and you need medicine that's crazy expensive. If the system knows enough about you, maybe somebody will offer you a deal on that medicine, right? So
figure out a way to like screw you, man. They'll figure out a way. It's like, oh, like let's put some videos of sad dying puppies in front of him. Like this could be your dog or something. You're like, oh, I have to spend $1,000 to save him. Yeah.
A sad one-eyed dog advertisement.
Yeah, dude. It's all about commerce, though. You know, that's right now what it feels like. Everything's like someone's trying to sell you something. On that note, our sponsor today is. I'm just kidding. Sponsors, yeah.
Yes. Is it Magnum condoms today?
Oh, no. Today's sponsor is baby wipes. When you run out of toilet paper and your baby doesn't really need to get wiped down anyways, because you're just gonna hose it down. Here you have baby wipes. Oh. Last pack was available at the Marqueta in East Los.
Yo, are those wipeable? I mean, wipeable. Are those flushable though? I hope they're wipeable.
You know what? These are Jimmy James pack. These Jimmy James. We're doing a tell him Jimmy James what we're doing, and this is part of the gift basket.
Yeah, we're putting together a quarantine care package, and next Friday, we'll blast it out on Monday, but next Friday we're gonna play Loteria on this thing, and dish out some cards to everybody, some game cards. But those particular ones are not flushable. But you know what really concerns me is what sort of weird shit are people flushing down the toilet right now?
Oh yeah, man.
Toilet paper being so hard to get a hold of. Like the sewer systems are gonna be a hot mess.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they say that none of these are flushable anyway, but I just flushed some rice down my toilet for real. Like it was going bad in my fridge, and I was like, I'm not gonna throw this in the trash because like Monday is when the trash comes, and every time I open it, because I never realized how often we go out to take out the trash until now that I'm like, dude, you know what? I maybe because I'm home a lot more, I'm going out to the trash can a lot more, but I open it up, I'm like, oh man, so. I got wise. I'm like, I'm gonna flush this down the toilet. It's gonna flush, right? It took like 3 or 4 flushes to get all that rice down the toilet.
Oh, how much rice did you make?
Oh, no, I don't cook. I wish I knew how. I long story, but I'm like doing this meal prep thing, and I buy the bulk one. I'm like, not today. I'm not gonna eat it today.
The bulk rice in a bag.
It's in like these little containers. Yeah. I'm telling you, like when this whole thing went down, I had no food in my fridge. Everyone was freaking out, going to get toilet paper. I was like,
what thing? What are you talking about?
Oh, have you been outside?
Happen to have no groceries?
We totally forgot about what's even been going on for like the last 20 minutes. We totally like finally talked about something else, huh? Jimmy James?
Yeah.
The coronavirus.
I mean, you can only talk about it for so long,
right?
Everyone's
like, how long do you go? It's like, how long do you go before you bring up your ex again? You know, like how many minutes go by before you say their name?
Never bring up that.
We're live on Facebook. Heads up.
Finally.
Yep, I got the connection.
Oh, we're live on Facebook? Oh, shit. Who's on Facebook? Oh, shit. We're on Facebook.
I don't know. It just started.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. Well, this is all just what this is we are recording video and we're all meeting on video, but this is going for a podcast. So this will all be released later.
Edited down, probably. We'll skip the whole thing about us talking predictive technology and all that.
Yeah. Let's see.
So you had no food, right? So what did you do? Did you just order a bunch of food, or did you brave?
You know what? It wasn't until like recently. So I was doing this fitness challenge thing, and I don't cook. Most of the time I just eat out. You know, I'm like always on the run and stuff like that. So I just stop by, get some food from, I don't know, one of the fast food restaurants, and then I had to stop that. So I got into this a meal prep thing where they prepare stuff in bulk. So, you know, they'll give you a couple of chicken things and you just spread them out throughout the week. But for the first week, I was just like, oh man, like, all right, so what am I going to do when I finish this stuff? And if there's a disruption, like I'm pretty much back to having to go and, go to McDonald's. Hopefully that doesn't fall apart,
Don't lose your gains, bro.
No, man. I'm trying to lose the gains. I'm trying to lose the gains. But no, so like it wasn't until recently that they actually started having some issues with like finding some of the supplies to make the food, and I was like,
oh wow,
I guess I'm off that diet, But
wow.
yeah, for a while there, I was a little bit concerned. I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I guess I got to go to the store. So I did. I bought this. My fridge is like right here, right next to me. Check this out. It's been there for a week. I think it's still good. I might have to flush this down the toilet later. You think it'll flush?
No, you want to chop that up first.
You
want to chop it up first. What's up, Dave Doppel? Dave Doppel in the house. Dave Doppel. He's our old drummer.
Dave.
Nice.
Dude.
Was that a cauliflower that went bad?
A cauliflower.
Or you smelled it too?
Oh, man. It lost all its florets. Funny.
We're kind of in similar situations. I decided to jump on the keto the week before lockdown happened, and I went really, really hard into it, which basically means you can't keep anything.
Yeah.
You can't eat anything that you keep like in your pantry, like no rice, no beans, no noodles, like nothing. And it's been a little intense trying to source stuff that will that's accepted on that diet.
Yeah. At this, have you been able to maintain it?
Yeah. There was I think there was one night where my wife and I were just beat and we didn't want to cook, so I thought I was doing the right thing and I ordered barbecue, and like 3 bites, I was so hungry, 3 bites into it, I was like, oh, this stuff is covered in sugar.
Yeah.
Right. And like I could just taste it, and it was getting into my system, and I could, because I'm maybe like 3 weeks into it, like a strong 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks into it, and it was getting into my system, and I felt like I was turning into a gremlin. And then I had a crash, and and it knocked me out for a day or two.
Yeah. Like you fell off the ketosis.
I did. Yeah, I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel it.
Have you done that, Tania?
I did keto, but I had to get this supplement, like, because like how you were saying earlier, that when you say something, then all of a sudden it starts popping up. So somehow it knew that I was saying the word keto. So all these keto supplement things kept popping up like on my phone. And then it was like, are you feeling foggy in the brain? Can't concentrate much? All out of energy? Just started the keto diet. And I'm like, pinches brujos. Brujos. Yes. So they talked me into spending $120, dude, on the supplement. Yeah. And I have to tell you, dude, it worked. It worked. Really? So it's a it's like a dark chocolate truffle. I don't know if the truffles would makes it so expensive, but it's like magnesium. It has chloride. Is it magnesium chloride? And a few other things, but apparently it brings your levels up so you can function and feel normal, because when you cut out all the carbs and you cut out all the noodles, you're essentially cutting out what you're used to getting your energy from. And it takes your body a while to convert, to start using the protein as actual fuel. So that's why you go through that keto fog and you're tired. And I mean, I've been through it 2 times already. And the second time I was prepared because I had that powder. And
how long were you on it, James, or have you been on it before? This is your first time?
No, I was on it, man, back in like 2006 when they called it the Atkins diet.
Oh yeah.
I was working at a radio station, and we used to get these little coupon books for like free food from different fast food restaurants. And so we got like a load of them from In-N-Out. So everybody got hooked up with a bunch of them. And so I was just like eating In-N-Out for free forever. And it was just like double lettuce wrap. And
that's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Double
I've done that too, man. It's like that keto diet for me was really hard. Cause like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like it's pretty much a lifestyle change. Cause if you get back into eating carbs, you gain that, it's 100%. Hard to maintain.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. Like at some point you need to figure out how to let carbs back in, because if you don't, then you're a mess. So probably about 3 years ago, I ended up snagging a personal trainer, and I told her what my diet was, and she was like, "Oh, you don't eat carbs?" And I was like, "No, I don't eat carbs." And I had gone that long, like a long ass time. I just never ate pasta. I never touched potato, no French fries, nothing like that. And she was like, "You got to eat carbs. You got to eat carbs."
Yeah, if you're working out, for sure, dude.
And so I was like,
so yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna eat carbs. So I ate like 2 bites of carbs, and I ballooned.
Yeah. And well, that's a thing though. Like, so I'm doing this this challenge, or I was doing the challenge. It was supposed to end at the end of March, but this whole disruption kind of happened. But yeah, no, like I remember reading when I was on keto, you're not supposed to be doing like heavy exercises because your body does need those carbs, and you can actually fall off the ketosis if you're working out too much. Like your body doesn't gets off of the fat burning mode.
No way. So if you are on keto and then you go do like interval cardio, right? Trying to burn all crazy with no carbs, you could potentially fuck up your keto from working out.
That's what I read. But the thing is, like, there's so much stuff on the internet, dude. It's like carbs are good, carbs are bad, fat is good, fat is bad. Like at the end of the day, man, it's man and woman. At the end of the day, it's like it's math. It's calories in, calories out, and you can trick your body into going into a fat burning mode, but after a certain time, even that becomes ineffective, where it's like your body just plateaus. It's like, oh, I figured out what's happening. You're just short circuiting me, and yeah, I've wisened up to it. So you got to constantly keep changing it up. But as long as you're maintaining or you're burning more calories or eating less calories, then your body is what is it, if you're eating less calories than your body's burning, you're gonna lose weight. But for me, it was like less about losing weight. It was more about just I'm almost 40. I'm like 38 now, and so your blood pressure starts going up. I know, real sexy topics. Like, totally.
Oh yeah.
But your blood pressure starts going up, and you're like, dude, if I don't get my stuff under control, I'm gonna have to take medication for the rest of my life. And I mean, just look at what's happening right now. The people that are dropping are the ones that have diabetes and high blood pressure. They're just, their body's not conditioned, like the heart disease stuff. You start to see how weight impacts your overall health, so I'm like, I need to get my stuff together. It was pretty bad.
Well, that's what I can't wait to start finding out, what it is that all of these people that are dying, once they go through the whole thing, they end up in the hospital, the ones that do come out alive, right, as opposed to the ones that don't, what did they have wrong with them, or what happened with the virus, and how did it mutate? Because it's hitting everybody different, and I don't know, I want to know what causes it to turn super deadly on one person, and it just might hit someone like like a light flu, like what the difference really is. And they haven't figured that out.
Germany's reported the lowest mortality rate, and they don't know if it's because of something genetic that the Germans have, or if they just have their shit together when it comes to operating procedure, like with hospitals and in managing the public.
Really? Like, did they catch this early on? Like, were they one of the first ones that caught on before we did and like closed everything down?
I think so. I don't think by much. And they haven't really been in the news because they haven't really been reporting like, any sort of, death numbers that are in line with the amount of people that have gotten sick.
Yeah, dude, I'm concerned with India. Like if because they're so close to each other, they live in so in the conditions there, you know, the hospitals and stuff like that, from my understanding, it's like, I've never been, you know, but I hear from people it's like it's just a recipe for disaster, because everything is just so fragile there with the healthcare system and everyone being packed into very close spaces and stuff like that. So yeah, man, it's really scary. At first I dismissed it too, man. I was like everyone else, like, and by the way, I say man, I mean both of you guys. I just use man or dude
okay.
all the time.
That's cool. It's all good.
I gotta be like proper and
no, you're good,
PC.
sis. Don't trip. You're good, sis.
I'll call you man too.
You're good. Yeah, you're fine.
But yeah, no, I dismissed it. I don't know about you. Did you guys take it seriously at first or no?
Fuck yeah. I took go. James, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, man. I went to Disneyland the week before they shut us down. And so I was on, you know, we're driving there, and it was I have a 3-year-old, and it's she's almost 4-year-old, but you know, it was gonna be her first trip, and like we planned it, and then it got canceled, and so we were really, really gung ho to make it there. And as we were driving there, I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, should we not be going to Disneyland right now? You know, so it was there kind of bouncing around in my head, but we went. We went.
Oh,
that is so crazy, because like I have a friend who has a friend who died of coronavirus. He was like one of the, I think he was like either the first or second person in California to die. I could be wrong about it, but he was 34 years old.
Oh, wow.
Here from Pasadena. He went to Walt Disney World and he got sick, came back, and he died. He was 34, dude. I was like, that was when I heard that it hit me, I was like, whoa, this is not just older people, you know.
Somebody younger than you.
Yeah, man.
So he went to damn, Epcot came back and
yeah.
Did he have anything wrong with him? Like, did he have anything wrong with his lungs or asthma or anything that you know of?
What I read was that he had cancer at some point and he came back from it, and I think he had like some breathing issues when he was younger, but like everything seemed to be, it was on TMZ and everything too, like you mentioned some of this, but because it was like one of the first ones. Now they don't even report it like they used to, you know, but because they're so frequent now. But they didn't make it, they made it seem like everything was fine now, like he was in remission and everything was fine with his like lungs and everything. So regardless though, you know, like I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, I've had pneumonia. I got the flu one year and it put me in the hospital. I was like, I had to be in a ventilator, you know? And it's no joke. Like not being able to breathe it freaking sucks, dude. It's like you breathe a little bit and then you cough and like my lungs hurt. I mean, like my ribs hurt so much from all the coughing, you know? And so I'm like, if this is stronger than that, dude, it could probably end me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you're now, because of that, you had that happen to you, you are officially at risk. Like you're the first thing that it'll just chew you up, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
and I wasn't taking it seriously either. Like I'm like the night that they shut down stuff in LA, I was out
that Sunday night.
Yeah, it was a karaoke bar, and I was like, I sang Morrissey. I was like, and if a 10-ton truck kills the both of us. I was dedicating this song to everyone. I was like, hey, if we all die tonight, I just wanted you to know that the pleasure, the privilege is mine.
Dang. Put the Tokyo tea down.
Yeah. No,
I have never seen people get so drunk before than at a Morrissey concert. So like I didn't grow up with Morrissey.
All the Mexicans.
Oh my God. I've never seen more fights.
They love them some Morrissey.
So many fights. So many drunk people and so many fights. That's not
the Mexicans. So Mexicans don't get into fights, bro.
That must have been the white people.
Yes. It's all the vegans getting into fights with other meat eaters.
Yeah.
You're not a real fan. Yes, I am. You're not a real fan. You eat me.
Going by tossing, trying like to toss up their $17 hot dog up in the air.
It was just linen punching leather. That's all.
Yeah. Just flying everywhere.
That's crazy though, right? Like Mexicans do like Morrissey for some reason.
They do.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about, but they associate Morrissey with a time of the greaser time, I guess, too.
Yeah,
for
maybe.
some reason, because I guess
used to
Morrissey
like him.
wore pomade. His hair.
Yeah, that too.
That
But I
too,
kind of
so
like
it was
he started
style.
getting really into that whole like Brexit thing, and it's kind of he's always been kind of. I try to disassociate the person with the art,
Mhm.
But at some point I was just like, yeah, I don't want to go see him. Like sometimes he's just like so full of himself and makes the audience wait, or like he'll cancel stuff, and so I'm just like, all right, dude, like you're good, but you're not a god, we're not.
You're not Axl Rose good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I always thought that Morrissey and Social D should be on a bill together, and it's just
dude, imagine
all the Mexicans would just show up.
Do they have a similar audience or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine putting that show together? That would be an awesome bill. Social Distortion and Morrissey together. Who else would be on top of that bill? Who else?
Go. English speaking musicians with a big Mexican fan base.
I was gonna say Lana Del Rey.
No, I wouldn't put her on there. I would probably put like Rancid, if we could get Rancid to come out, Rancid would be good. A little bit. It's kind of like the range of just like, all right, the punk, and then the like the rockabilly / punk, and then I don't know. What do you guys think?
What about Sam Smith? Do Mexicans like Sam Smith?
No, I don't know. That's a little bit later, but they do. They like Sam Smith, but it's not from that time. What's from that time?
Who's that fool?
Oh, The Cure. The Cure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that would kill. That would kill. Yeah.
The Cure. Oh, The Cure. The Cure is available, huh?
Dude, I went to their freaking farewell tour in like 2001 or something. It was 2001, something like that. Those fuckers are still around. I want my money back, man. I went to a freaking farewell tour at the Greek. I remember I was like, dude, I paid good bucks for those tickets too, because I was like, it's their last shows, I was so mad when they came back.
Dude,
bummed out.
I'm still stuck on that bill. Morrissey, Social Distortion.
But it's a totally different, like not genre, but era.
It's a time that everyone remembers. It's that time where James Dean came back, but Mexican style, So they resurrected James Dean, but Latino style, and that's where all the greasers are. I think that it's more that it's that and a combo of watching Grease a lot.
Watching Grease.
Watching Grease a lot.
Yeah.
All that. It's kind of.
I'm gonna get kicked out of this Zoom meeting, but I've never watched a James Dean movie.
You know what? It looks like we're both kicking rocks. It looks like we're both kicking rocks because I've never seen a James Dean movie myself either.
Yeah.
I've seen Grease. I have seen Grease. I don't know, dude. This might be the time for you to watch it. There's nothing else to do.
That's true. That's true. Ain't that the truth?
This might be the time to put that one off the bucket list and be like,
when you
you
go to watch it, there's a theory that that they're all dead, that they die at the beginning of the movie, and that the entire thing from that point, from the beginning forward, is them in the afterlife.
That what? Say that one more time.
Yeah.
There's a theory that at the beginning of the movie they die.
Uh-huh.
The cast dies, and then the rest of the movie is just them in the afterlife. Watch it, like when you do, Eddie, when you do like go to watch it with that
with that in mind.
Yeah.
Oh snap. Okay, that added a little bit of mystique to it.
That's really crazy because now that would make sense on what the fuck was going on in that movie. Right?
Totally.
It was a tree. Totally. It was a tree. No wonder. You know what I mean? Who else would have leather in high school? Like, just, what kind of high school was this? Yeah. I see it.
It's the theory.
Leather in high school.
I'm trying to find your stream so I can share it.
You have to go to the Tania Estrada fan page. It's not on the on my personal page.
Here, I'll put it in the chat for you real
Oh,
quick.
okay, cool. Thank you, man.
Oh, Dennis Stafford in the house, Amanda Herbert, Eric Cisne, Emmanuel Enciso. What's up? Dennis Stafford. Oh my God. So Dennis Stafford is the rep for Luna Guitars, and he was the guy who gave me my first guitar endorsement. I had a guitar. I still have the guitar, Dennis. I still be rocking out to the guitar.
Nah,
so thank you for that. It's still beautiful. What's up? No, it's right here. You want to see it? You want to see it? You want me to prove it? You want proof? Hold on, Dennis. Don't go nowhere, okay? Hold on, battle. Hold on.
Hey, we can start a band right now, dude. You got a ukulele back there. I got a guitar back there. Tania's gonna
pull that guitar off her up.
It's a ukulele, right?
This one's a ukulele, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ukulele.
So what are you binging right now that you can't go out? Are you?
Man, me?
Yeah.
I've been working, man. I'm one of the fortunate ones that gets to work. Got to be thankful, So I haven't really been able to watch much. It kind of sucks, but.
Are you considered essential, or are you hustling on the side?
No, I have a gig. I do a lot of like tech stuff with so like right now when everything went down. And there's all these people trying to telecommute, I'm doing a lot like this type of stuff. Part of the reason why I have a lot of this equipment is because, it's part of the work that I do. So I even, have you guys tried these filters? Did you hear about this lady that I guess she installed some filters and then she didn't know how to take it off. So she had to conduct a business meeting like a potato. Like the entire meeting. Yeah. There's a story about that. It's pretty funny.
How do I add a filter?
How do I take this off? Like, I don't know how to take it off. And it's just like having a meeting. It's like, all right, the sales numbers. And it's like, it's the coronavirus. Okay. I'm going to stay here while the coronavirus.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah, dude. There's some like really cool filters. It's called Snap Camera for all your folks watching. Snap Camera. It's pretty cool. You just add the Snapchat filters to your broadcast.
There was some stories going around because there's so many online school classes right now happening using Zoom. There's a way you can go in and just start to punch in Zoom meeting numbers. And you used to be able to jump into, up to today, you used to be able to jump into a Zoom meeting randomly. And so there were people jumping into classrooms and stripping down and doing stuff.
Oh, yes, I did hear about this. I was just not trying to do it myself, but I heard.
What's the Zoom meeting number? How do I get on?
So today Zoom implemented a mandatory password if you don't have a direct URL. If you're just trying to punch in a meeting number, you have to drop a password now, which is like good on them for like implementing a change that fast, because school kids and
Oh, so this was a school kids.
Yeah, it was happening to school kids.
Oh, no way. I thought it was like college kids, because that's who I associate people using this stuff with.
Grade school.
No.
College professors and stuff. Oh, that's crazy.
All the grade schools are using Zoom right now.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's a great tool, but like with anything, you know, there's bad stuff with technology. So,
kids are gonna learn.
What are you binging right now, Tanya?
What am I binging? What did I finish watching? Ozark season 3. That was my last guilty pleasure, and then I walked away. And I didn't find anything else to watch, like if I was being faithful or something to that show.
Did you watch the Tiger one or no? The Tiger King?
I watched Tiger King before I started watching Ozark. So I finished Tiger King last week, and that's officially like 7 hours and 15 minutes of my life that I'm never gonna get back. Because if I wanted to watch Dude, if I wanted to watch Crazy People on Meth, I could have just went to my hometown of La Puente. This is nothing new. Okay. You know, like, okay, so he had tigers. Our fucking meth dealer had 24 cats. Okay. Fucking
that's funny.
You know,
they were some big ass cats.
No te creas, Tiger King, no eres tan salvaje.
Man, that's funny, dude.
So I watched that, but I'll tell you that for Tiger King, the most interesting thing about it was Carol Baskin. Not even fucking exotic.
No,
Joe.
Dude. Wait, spoiler. Okay, like there's like a few more people watching now. Just shared it. Okay, so let me ask you guys, if you watch Tiger King, do you agree with Tanya that this Carol lady was actually I don't know, like, what do you want to say? But I hated her. Like, everyone hates her. The whole internet hates her. You like her? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I thought you were saying you liked her. I was like, what?
I said the only thing I liked about the show was the storyline of Carol Baskin.
Oh, the storyline, not her.
The storyline, not her. No. I didn't like her. I was like, does anyone not see this bitch killed her husband, dude? Like, come on.
Oh, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So you haven't watched it?
Yeah. She killed her husband, and if you wait all the way till the end of the show, you'll see her actually committing the murder. So watch all 7 episodes.
Wait, did you see that? There's a meme going around that Jeff is Mike. What was her first husband's name? There's a meme going around that her first husband is actually that Jeff, the millionaire dude, and they put the picture side by side. I'm like, dude, conspiracy theory. What? Like, it actually looks like it. Imagine that. Like, he comes back. Her first husband, the one that like used to beat her supposedly, comes back and then kills the ex-husband, like her second husband, and then now we're revealing a lot of stuff. So if you haven't watched the series, none of this is probably making sense. But
yeah, I'm gonna dip out because I'm not done yet.
Okay, let's not talk about it.
Jimmy
let's
James.
not talk about it. Let's not talk about it.
Jimmy James.
I'm halfway through.
Okay, so there's a few people that are gonna
hold on really quick. You guys, hold on. You guys, spoiler alert. Everything I said, I totally made up. Okay. Just everything I said. When I said spoiler alert, this happened, I'm so kidding. Yeah, I'm fucking with you guys, so you guys can laugh. Like,
man,
she fucked it up for me.
You messed it up for Yvette. Yvette,
I'm sorry. Good. Yvette Aranga, you're good, girl. I totally made it up.
Yeah, like all these they're all theories. It's not like it actually happened, but I'm pretty sure Carol fucking fed her husband to a cat. But you see, the thing is, that's not a spoiler alert, because there's like 100,000 memes out there about her feeding her husband to the tigers.
Beatrice Gutierrez says, how can you not binge it? What do you mean you're halfway? I couldn't look away. Jimmy James, I know.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta get a life, James.
I know.
James, you gotta get a life.
How could you? Like, what else did you have to do?
Yeah.
You got 24 hours.
I know. It was either watch Tiger King or feed the kid.
The kid won again.
Feed the kid.
Always wins.
Feed the kid like Carol fed her husband to the tigers.
Tigers. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, look into the camera and do the dun, dun, dun.
Hold on, let me see. I can zoom. No, that's the focus. Like she
dun,
fed
dun,
her,
dun.
like she fed her husband to the tigers. I'm gonna do that for a dramatic effect. Like,
yeah. Dun,
oh
dun,
yeah,
dun.
you mean you haven't watched it because you've been going outside?
Dun, dun, dun.
You mean
funny.
you've been spreading germs?
Dun, dun, dun.
Going to Disneyland and infecting everybody?
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, this conversation is going in all kinds of weird places.
It's getting dark. It's getting dark.
That's what it's supposed to be. We're just talking shit. You know?
Oh yeah, you're talking shit for sure.
We're just talking shit.
That's cool.
I'll tell you what, you guys, like, this is gonna be like an era of what we did during the time that we were on war, like during war. What did we do? We got to stay home and figure out what the fuck we were gonna watch for like all this time. Like right now, our biggest worry is either running out of shows to watch or our internet getting cut off. Like that's the fear that we should have right now. Because I don't know if you guys know, but the internet's been kind of dipping in and out. And I've been kind of looking up what's been going on with that.
Yeah, dude, your neighbors are watching too much porn. That's what it is. Do you notice
at 8 in the morning?
Hey, you know, some
they're
lonely
on
times
it.
Out there.
They're on it. Actually, I found out that as soon as the kids wake up and the parents get up in the morning, everybody's got to go online. It's like the first thing they do is they go online. So everybody's online at 8 in the morning. And then everything's kind of boggled down from 8 to 11. If you notice sometimes too, your internet is kind of like glitching out for like a minute, 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah,
and
it sucks.
If
you're trying to work, you know, you're trying to do something with coworkers, like kind of like this, you know, but you like.
So let me ask you that. Yeah, right. Hello, can you hear me?
It's annoying as hell.
Well, like check. So Eddie. So we know you as an influencer. We know you as an actor, right? We know you as a person that is a socialist and going in to lobby for the Latino community. As far as
did you call me a socialist, dude? Trump's coming after me, man. Socialist.
No, I guess socialist wouldn't be the right word. I'm just putting words together. A social guy that likes to go out in his situations. A social guy that goes out and uses his influence in trying to help lobby different things that could help the Latino community.
Social activist.
Yeah. I do consider myself kind of a social activist. I make stupid videos on the internet, but they have a message.
They do
usually, you know, unless it's about you know people hoarding toilet paper or something like that, which is not that serious. Sometimes it's just about a laugh. But yeah, I do realize that I do have a bit of an audience, and so I try to incorporate stuff that affects my community into those videos. Yeah.
And you do, and people react to it. You have a huge fan base, and you do good. You do a lot of good. And I watch your stories all the time, and I see what's going on is that you really do reach out to your fans, and you speak with your fans on the side, and you're dealing with a lot of conspiracy theorists. And I want to thank you for being the voice of reason, honestly, because I'm here by myself, and you know, I only get one route of information, and sometimes it is people putting in this stuff that is making me kind of worried. It kind of worries me, but you're like, no, this isn't really happening, which leads me to my next question. Being that we see how the internet is being overtaken, it's being used up, we're running out of space, we're running out of bandwidth. Also too, as you know, Elon Musk is trying to start the artificial intelligence interlink, you know, the brain thing, but he says in order for it to be symbiotic, for it to link up, he's going to need a lot more bandwidth. He's going to need a lot more processing speed, and the internet is not fast enough. Now, from what we were talking about, you saw the things we were talking about, the 5G, how people were saying they're using the 5G to fry people, and that's what they're going to be using. In this case, if they do upgrade to 5G, do you think this is going to help the speed and the amount of internet that is there? And do you think that it's also going to be used to kill off people? Do you think this 5G is really going to, fry people? Fry people's brains?
Dude, like, you're going way deep into that rabbit hole. That's
Hey, come on now! I've had an hour to move you up. Come on.
wait. So, because there's a lot of stuff to unpack there, right? First, like how this. I think what you were alluding to is you posted something and I responded to you like, oh, these dudes have no idea what the hell they're talking about, and I said something like they're probably high because this stuff is so out there that it makes no sense. But like when you're high, you start making these connections in your head, and you can find anything out there, absolutely anything. Again, we were talking about keto earlier, right? And I said keto, like eating meat's bad, eating meat's good, eating fat's bad, eating fat's good. Like you can find anything out there to confirm whatever you want to believe. So I remember telling you, like, if you want to believe something, why not believe in something positive? Because yes, there's these conspiracy theories, and like, you know, people are going to take something that Elon Musk, the guy from Tesla and SpaceX and all this stuff, they're going to take what he's saying and put it into a conspiracy theory about elimination of a ton of people because we're going to need more bandwidth or whatever it is. Like,
or
we don't have population control. Like, I mean, I think this virus, like people are saying, oh, this virus is, you know, created by humans, and it's a man-made virus, you know, to eliminate people and blah blah blah. And I remember this one video that you shared was about this dude saying like, go watch this thing on Netflix, episode 10 from
that thing,
coronavirus. What the fuck? Oh my god, it's coronavirus in 2018. God damn it, dude. Coronavirus has been around for like ages. It's coronavirus 2019. That is the novel coronavirus. That's the new one. That's the one where it's like, oh, we've never seen this freaking variation before. And there's no, so like it really, like, I always, there's this quote in a very good book called the Bible. I don't know, maybe you guys have heard it.
But I've heard it.
My favorite piece of fiction.
In a nutshell, Jesus is like, please forgive these idiots, for they don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here. That's basically what Jesus said. I don't mean to blast you. I'm actually a Christian, and I totally believe that he knew what the heck he was talking about. But people are so, they just fall for stuff. They fall for stuff. They just don't know any better. Like the word ignorant doesn't mean stupid. Stupid is like knowing something and still doing it. Ignorant is like, you just don't know. Like, you just don't know. You just don't know what you don't know, you know? And I think there's a lot of ignorance out there, and people believe it because they don't know any better. And sometimes it's about someone going like, hey, by the way, this thing that you posted today about the cure for coronavirus, and the reason why Israelis don't get sick is because they take lemon and bicarbonato, which is like baking soda or whatever. It's completely false. It's like, this is what the Israeli government has said about it. This is what WHO has said about it, the World Health Organization. They've had to address it because like there's all these people sending these messages to each other like, hey, don't tell anyone, but I got this from a reputable source that, you know, the National Guard's gonna come in and they're gonna lock us down and they're gonna quarantine us, and then, you know, like all this crazy stuff. Is like, dude, like, get a grip on reality. Stop smoking weed. Like, it's making you delusional, you know? I think that sometimes it's just about taking a step back and going like, there's probably something more reasonable going on here, and there might be some truth to some of this stuff. Like we don't know if 5G actually causes harmful effects on humans. We don't know if 4G causes effects on humans. We don't know if vaping has these effects on humans. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff out there that we don't know, and then when we find out about it, we're like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that extreme. You know what I mean? I don't mean to go on a rant, guys, but like it saddens me when like people post stuff and it's like, dude, why?
Hey, when I saw, dude, if they're gonna show me a show from 2018 that was made in an Asian country where they're having an outbreak drama and the subtitles say coronavirus, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck. And so what if I'm smoking my weed? I'm gonna worry. I'm gonna be so worried. I'll be like, oh shit, and I'm gonna start thinking, and then you come on and you're like, the cool thing is you came on and you're like, hey, you're like, and you gave me a list and you showed me like all the viruses through back from now to the back of time that were all named coronavirus in the name of it. Like that was part of the name of it. So it's always been a coronavirus. So you debunked it for me, which I love. And I didn't get to do it last week, my conspiracy theory of the week that I debunk. But this will be that one for this week. So that's totally perfect. The 5G, is it going to fry your brain or not? We don't know.
We don't know.
We'll
be getting faster internet, and then we'll plug in and become like cyborgs, and that's maybe worth it. I don't know.
Well, I guess we're gonna see who's gonna be able to survive that, to be able to cyborg up. Who's gonna be able to cyborg up?
I don't know. Some things are worth faster internet, you know? Like, I'm kidding.
You know, wouldn't that be funny if right now, being that we're all at home, the one thing that everyone is getting a little bit of, hopefully, is exercise. And not only that, but because they're home, they're able to make their food choices. Ooh, what was that?
I just bit into a lemon seed. I'm drinking this baking soda and lime juice just in case of the virus.
Just in case of the virus. And you got
my uncle sent me a screenshot of a friend who sent him that thing. So I'm better safe than sorry.
With a little sana colita de rana in it.
Some vaporu. I used to have an uncle that would put vapor. He would make vapor rub tea. Like he would literally take vapor rub and like, and I'm like, dude, I'm afraid to ask if he's gotten his insides checked, because I'm like,
I don't think you're supposed to ingest that.
You're not supposed to ingest it.
But
I'm sure it's one of those things that he heard
on there. External use only. I think
that's what the Illuminati wants you to know. They don't want you to eat the Vicks Vapor Rub because they know.
The Illuminati.
Well,
so what I was talking about as far as health, as immunity. So now that we're all at home, we're all eating, we're all choosing what to eat. A lot of us, I would imagine, are making healthier choices. We're exercising. We're getting our immunity up to fight this invisible virus. And I wonder if the immunity is going to separate the weak ones from the strong ones when it comes time to level up to this 5G, and whether we'll be able to withstand all that power or not. That could be a key reason why.
So this is the filtration that's happening right now. Like all the
I think in a way that if you think of logic of how it's going to go down, when you think of the advances to the point that it's taking people out just on mere hygiene alone. Like if you think about this for a second, when you think about what it used to be like in the 18 or 1900s when you would get sick and there'd be no medicine and you would just potentially die really fast. They figured out that a lot of reasons why people were dying was bacteria. So we've had all this time to learn how to wash our hands, how to be cleaner, how to know that there's bacteria, that there's germs out there. And for some reason, everybody that has caught this failed that one simple thing. Don't touch anything, don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose. Somewhere that has gotten lost. So with that, that's what's cutting people dead. Like, you should have known this like 80 years ago. We've been having this fight for a long ass time. Germs. What do it? Most of the people that accidentally caught it were because they shook hands with someone who you don't know where their hands were. And but there are the people that are super on, they have their wipes, they have their sanitizer, they have this, they've had the gloves, they've protected themselves that way.
Let me ask you something though. All right, so like Tom Hanks, Idris Elba, some of these politicians, what's his name, Rand and all that stuff, right?
And Kumo's brother.
Right.
Yeah.
So all these people are basically dirty motherfuckers, right? Because they caught it.
I didn't say it.
You said Tom Hanks is a dirty motherfucker.
Hey, Harvey Weinstein caught it. What you gonna call him, huh?
Oh, he's a dirty motherfucker. I'm just saying, you can find holes in that logic too.
Well,
because
there's the holes. There's my thesis on that logic is that survival of the fittest comes down to hygiene. Like, it's really down to that level of it's hygiene. And if it's hygiene, and now we're worried about hygiene, and we're worried and conscious about making our immune system stronger, we're now making everything inside of us stronger. We're making our, we're getting exercise, so we're getting oxygen. We're getting vitamin C, so we're raising our immune system. We're eating greens, so that's helping us build new cells and antioxidants. So it's building us to be, I guess, a superior human model, as opposed to people that still eat processed foods, don't work out, are drinking, are doing coke during this time where they can't do anything but be, you know what I mean? It's going to turn into I think this is going to be the splitting point of how people are going to evolve, or they're going to die. I don't know.
What do you think, Jim James?
Yeah, Jimmy James. What do you think?
No comment.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I'm eating meat. I'm gonna friggin'.
I don't know. I don't think there's enough information yet. You know, like people have been getting killed off via bacteria and illness and sickness forever. And the technology has gotten better. And I hear what you're saying, that maybe personal hygiene and sort of the hygiene norms should have been a little bit more evolved by now. But at the same time, like, we stick things in butts, So like,
but we don't have to put our fingers in our face. We can touch butts, but we don't got to put our fingers in our mouth.
Jimmy James,
you watch us.
What's that, Eddie?
Butt?
Boom, boom, boom. Or I should say, bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum.
I mean, like, people are just going to do what people do, and
then forget to wash their hands and shake Tom Hanks' hand. And that's how he got it. He's like, where have I met you before? Just like,
yeah, look at that. See, right there in the
Dude, did you see that lady that was talking about, like, don't touch her hand, don't touch your face, and blah, blah, blah. Flip the page.
Yeah,
it's not about the coronavirus. The thing is, like, look,
fantastic.
All right. So when I was a kid, I lived in Mexico, right? So I grew up, I was born here, right? Trump. I was born here, lived in Mexico, returned to the States, all right? As we've done for generations and generations before there was this border thing. We used to come in and work all the time legally and everything. Then there was this whole border. But my family has been doing this for like literally over 100 years. My grandpa did this, and he was a farmer. So he would come and he would work in the fields, and then he would go back. And when I was a kid, I went to live in Mexico, and I went to my grandfather's farm all the time, and I used to drink milk straight from the cows. All right, as a kid. When I came to the States and I drank the milk here, it was homogenized and it was pasteurized and all this shit that is supposed to protect us, right? Because like, okay, we've learned something about what happens when you drink stuff that's not pasteurized, right? When I went back to Mexico as an adult and I had real milk, I got so freaking sick. I had the worst diarrhea. You go to Mexico and you eat some of the cheese there, people say like, oh, I got diarrhea. I was like, well, the reason why you're having this reaction, and the reason why I believe that those people that are going to die first are the ones that are just like trying to eat healthy and trying to, you know, take their antioxidants and this and that. Your body is not able to fight. You think that you're doing your body good by like putting on all this sanitizer and all this stuff, but you're really weakening your body. Like, I think those people are the ones that are going to go first. Like, this is just my opinion. You know?
The vegans are going to go first.
I wouldn't say the vegans. I wouldn't say it's necessarily about eating meat. I think it's about just your overall exposure to contaminants and your body being able to fight it back. Because like it's like having a kid that you do everything for. Like, your kids never had to fight for anything in their life. When they go out into the real world, it's gonna be a complete failure in, you know, by relative terms. You know, I'm sure they'll be rich or whatever if you provided everything to them, but that doesn't necessarily is not gonna make them a well-rounded human being, because they've never had to struggle. It's like your body has to struggle through stuff and fight stuff. The reason why we put vaccines, like a diminished version of a virus, basically we're shooting ourselves up with a virus, is so that our bodies know how to identify it and fight it off. Vitamin C, like, you can read stuff on it, but vitamin C can help for some things. But if you're talking about a virus that has never been seen before and your body doesn't know how to identify it, and it triggers a sequence of events in your body that cause it to go into, you know, like, you can't breathe and you basically, you know, choke to death. I guarantee you, like, no matter how much vitamin C you drink or how many antioxidants you drink, your body's not going to be able to fight it off by itself.
Well,
it's like, you know, it's
actually, if I may interject on
I'm probably all wrong, by the way.
No, no, you have many valid points. And I believe that for a long time, colds and viruses and everything that they've always said about just regular colds and viruses and flus, there's nothing you can do. You got to let it run its course. Once you got it, there's nothing you can really do except help the exacerbated symptoms, like, you know, runny nose and headache or whatever it is, or body aches.
Yeah.
But I have found that anytime that I have ever come in contact with someone that is potentially sick, something iffy of a moment, because in those times we know when someone's sick because they tell, I don't feel good, and you're like, oh, it's that time, it's coming around. I have hit my vitamin C. Like, I will hit like 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C, dude. I'm talking 500 milligram, 6 pills, all in one shot. And I also have zinc. I'll throw myself a zinc in there, and I'll do that every few hours. I have not gotten sick in so long. And with what they're saying, get your immunity up, get your immune system up, vitamin C. I'm thinking, how are they now barely discovering that? Because if you see what they're saying in New York, is that they're helping a lot of people are recovering with the vitamin C Z-Pack, which is vitamin C and a zinc. So I think that there is something to high dosages of vitamin C and zinc to help fight off something that could be so potentially damaging. Meaning that if your system is up and you're able to fight off this antibody, maybe it does help. But maybe the ones that do die are the ones that don't have any defenses to fight that off.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of it, right? You having a compromised immune system where it can't really fight it. I don't think that fighting off a virus, like, I think that there's a big difference between like a common cold and the flu virus, you know, or like this type of virus. Like, definitely you're having an immune system that can fight any bug that comes in is good. But I don't think that a Z-Pack is going to cure a virus that your body has never seen and is very aggressive, and it goes after these very specific things. Like, there's this video that I shared on my Instagram. This doctor basically going into detail as to how this virus kills you, you know, and why.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I love those.
Yeah, you should watch it. But I'm not saying don't take your Z-Packs. I'm not saying don't like go and you know, work out and stuff like that. You should do all of those things regardless, you know. But there is such a thing as exposing your body to the elements of the world so that your body knows how to recognize it and fight it, you know, while it's still young and vibrant, and not when you're older, dude. That's when this is dangerous. Like, when we're older and we've kind of insulated ourselves in our little bubbles and used the sanitizer and all that stuff, it's just like your body is going to break down. Like, there's no way, like, at that age, when you're much older, your body's gonna deteriorate. Like, you can't keep it up forever.
Do you think that all this hand sanitizer and all this disinfecting and antimicrobial state of business that we're in, do you think that that's hurting the bacteria that we have within us? Because I do believe what you're saying, that as you grow up as a kid, you know, and you're a little mocoso running around, like all that bacteria that you pick up from playing and stuff, that does kind of protect you. It's kind of like a little child's penicillin. But I like, what do you think?
So, like, when you get sick and you go to the doctor and they tell you, oh, it's a flu virus, so giving you antibacterial, like, what is it called? Not antibacterial. I'm blanking out on the word right now, but antibiotics. Antibiotics. So it's bacteria, right? They don't give you antibiotics for a virus because a virus is very different than bacteria, right? So these antibacterial, here, like, this thing right here, this is kills germs for a deep clean, right? But what does it actually kill? Is it killing bacteria or is it killing a virus? This, it says, kills the most germs. Well, what the hell are germs? Like, and is this gonna kill a virus, or is it just going to kill bacteria, right? Because if we're talking about it's a virus, if you have a virus, that 99.9%, well, that 0.1%, that 0.01% is probably coronavirus. That's the shit that this thing, one of these days, this thing is not going to work on. You know what I mean? Like, you think like you're being safe. Like, no, wash your hands, you know, like, get all of that off. You know, I think washing your hands is more effective than antibacterial, to be honest. But I don't know anything.
That's the big theory. That's the big theory with antibacterial, you know, wipes and gel and stuff, is that it's not that those things will knock out a lot of the low level germs and bacteria, leaving resistant germs and bacteria left. And so there's a theory that, like, we're actually going to create a super germ with all of this hand sanitizer use that, you know, that's been going on for the last, you know, X amount of years, something that will just be so resistant and just have so much armor that it's just going to shred through us. So that's another one, you know. But Eddie, I hear what you're saying. Like, you know, if you end up nerfing yourself so that you can't take a punch, right? Where you're just constantly either on, you know, antibiotics, or you're constantly just playing the safe route and not exposing yourself, then when you do get exposed, you're gonna get fucked up. You know?
Oh yeah.
It's like playing Nerf Nerf football all the way up until high school, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I know how to play real football, and you go out there and you get smashed.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's a great analogy. Like that, and I'm touching my face.
See,
I got this. I got this as a prop for a video.
Oh, but, look at that. Do you know that I got this for 99 cents like a few years ago? It's at my desk, and I saw it on sale on OfferUp for $10.
Wow.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, yeah.
I don't
fill
know.
Fill the rest of that up with water and sell it for $8.
Yeah, fill it up with water.
Put some vodka in there and say like, dude, this is 100% right here.
Yeah. I'll throw in some hair gel. That way they get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think a lot of this stuff is just like your body. Your body is an amazing machine, you know, but ultimately it breaks down. And I think that's where, you know, like I have an elderly grandma, man, and it's like I see her going to the hospital for one thing, and then whatever they do throws something else off, and eventually it's like you're trying to keep all these things up in the air, you know, and eventually one of the balls is going to drop, you know. And so should you be eating healthy, whatever healthy means, you know, because you know there's pesticides in a lot of our food, and there's only so much organic stuff that's labeled organic that's probably not organic to go around. Like, how much of this is actually helping you? How much of it is it actually hurting you? Like, I think the only thing that I can say for sure, like, is going to help you is what we started off with earlier, which is like exercise and just trying to maintain that level of fitness throughout your 30s, 40s, and because that's really when like your body starts breaking down, you know. Like if you can establish some good routines into your 30s and into your 40s, like, you know, chances are that you're gonna be able to withstand a lot of the ailments that kind of start breaking the body down in your 50s and your 60s. So
the deterioration of aging is actually, I was told by a trainer that you actually working out now is you training for old age. Like you working out is preparing for old age, because it's going to come. And now is going to depend where you're at in 10 years.
Yeah, those squats are just in a preparation for you getting out of a bed, out of, you know, like whatever it is. And the thing is, like, as you get older, I don't know how old you guys are, but like just walking, it freaking just hurts, walking. You know, like, and you'll pull something and it'll be like, dude, I was walking, like I wasn't even doing some hard sports. It's just like you can't prepare for that stuff, but you know, like you can try to prolong the good years that you have.
The day that I die, I'm gonna say, I didn't stretch enough. I think it's gonna be the one thing I'm gonna regret. I didn't stretch enough.
We were talking about James Dean, right? Live fast and die young. Leave a beautiful body. I've seen a quote, something like that, attached to his image, and so I guess that's the only way to avoid that. You know, just die young.
Or Elon Musk shows up and you download into a hard drive. Would you do it?
Yep.
Would you do it?
No.
Yep.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. You guys would?
I would. I would in a heartbeat.
Why?
I love the idea of having a collective consciousness and a collective processing power. I think that's fantastic. I think it's probably going to be one of the only things that gets us off of this planet, is being able to work together that way. And I think with social media, the way that it is right now, it's conditioning kids to not have any privacy and not expect any privacy whatsoever, so that when they are on a hard drive, then there is no expectation of privacy whatsoever, and there will be a collective brain power, collective computing power.
Let me actually, can I get philosophical with you?
Yes.
Can I not get, all right. So I used to be atheist, and then I became Christian. Actually, not so many years ago. And it wasn't until like something clicked, like what you're talking about, right? Is like no expectation of privacy, right? So there's no freedom. Hold on. I should have my thingamajig, it's literally ringing it everywhere. Hold on. It's like I was getting a call here, my iPad, my computer's going off. Sorry guys.
It's not good.
Maybe that was a sign I shouldn't go into any of this stuff. But what you're talking about,
Eddie, it's
what you're talking about,
Eddie, don't talk about it.
Don't talk about the secret.
Eddie G, Illuminati line 1. Illuminati line 1.
Illuminati, do not talk about the secret.
Eddie,
you're venturing into.
Eddie, I'll see you in 2 days. Keep your mouth shut.
Free thought. You're talking about the elimination of free thought. You're talking about the elimination of choice, right? When a machine can start breaking you down to an algorithm and start determining how you're going to act, what you're going to buy, what you're going to watch, what you're going to eat, then you've eliminated free will, right? So ultimately, what we're talking about when this whole thing, if it does happen, right, all we're doing is we're actually trying to become like God. So you could argue that God is already able to see everything, right? So the system that you're talking about, where it's a digital one created by us, we'd be able to see everything is transparent. You can see everything. You can see the programming behind the scenes. There's no free thought and any of that stuff. So when you're talking about God's creation, God went into an organic system, and then he enlightened us. So the idea that people are like, well, how can you believe at the Adam and Eve story, and like where did their partners come from, and blah blah blah. Like there's so many layers to it. When what he's really talking about, or what the Bible and the people that wrote the Bible are talking about, is God enlightened an organic being with self-awareness, which is something that not a lot of animals have. There's animals that are self-aware, but they're not like sentient beings with that enlightenment thing, and that's the I, right? The enlightenment. So you could argue that we're already living in a collective conscious. Like right now, it's like even more obvious how much we're all connected and how much we're all sharing in this one reality. So do I trust an Elon Musk and the collective consciousness to come up with the rules of the game when I see how the very basic rules that we have in our world right now are being used to manipulate and mistreat people? When we can't get our shit together here in this world, why would I want to even venture at the idea of going into outer space? Like, hey, let's fix the shit that we have going on here. Like, let's take care of our planet first here. Learn how to be human beings first before we try to be this more, like, it's not going to be any more perfect. You know what I mean? Like, why are we going to venture in that? I think we're seeking God level status, but we don't have the wisdom that God can only have. You know what I mean?
That's my rant.
That's
a perfect lead off. That's a perfect lead off. I think that right now, with everything that's happening, coronavirus has stopped the entire world. This is it. This is the moment that our earth is getting to breathe. This is the moment that the animals are coming out and enjoying all the air. And there is nothing left for us here except to wait and see who's going to live and who's going to die. I would much rather be put somewhere where Elon Musk has me and is trying to have, you know what I mean, a little Elon Musk princess castle, you know what I mean, little 4 white walls and whatever, and have me hooked up and maybe I can see and be what it is that can link this moment and help the rest of humanity survive and cross over to have something left. Because if we don't figure out a way to save ourselves, even if it is into a hard drive, dude, we can be dust like this. We could be gone tomorrow.
We are gonna be dust. That's the beauty of life and death, is that like if there was, here's the thing, like I think most people are afraid of dying. That's what it comes down to. Everyone, and you know what? I would have dreams as a kid. I would wake up and I would be freaked out because I would realize my parents are gonna die one day. And like that was what would freak me the hell out. It's like, oh my God, there's gonna be a day when my parents are gonna die, and like and I would like literally have anxiety attacks, panic attacks. I would go in running to my parents' room, and I was like, I didn't want to tell them that I just had this realization that they were going to die. Right. And so something happens in your, like, I think you can fall into the trap of trying to stay alive forever. Right. Because of the Dracula. For the fear of dying. Like all those things come from a place, by the way. Like it's all pulling from the collective subconscious, if you want to call it that. But here's the thing, right? Let me ask you this question, because like I don't want to make it sound like not everyone has something to offer, but I think that if the people that are going to be deciding who takes up that bandwidth and who doesn't, who gets saved and who doesn't, what makes you think that you are going to be one of them?
Ooh, but if that's interesting though, like what you said, saved and bandwidth, like what if that is the way that you end up being saved? Can you withstand the 5G frying of the brain, go beyond and withstand that and survive that out?
You're still thinking physical, right? Just look at all look at all the terminology, right? Okay. Saved. Cloud. Okay, where have you heard these terms before?
Heaven. The cloud. Yeah. Heaven.
Google. Where have you? Google. Don't be evil. Like all we're doing is we're playing out God's reality. Like this is God's reality. Like this is my belief. This is God's reality, and we're so focused on this future version of being saved, and like it's maintaining this organic thing that is going to decay. Like if there's anything that I've taken from this whole Corona thing, is like God is saying there's all this stuff that you value. And there's some meme out there that actually can put it a lot better than I could ever put it, like, a quote. But like all these things that you value, like nature has been able to put a stop to them like that. We value all these different things and they're taken away like that. I personally believe, and I take it that Jimmy James, that you're not a religious person, right? You're like from one of the comments that you made earlier, and I wasn't. I'll let you elaborate on it, but I personally believe that God has that ultimate power, and like I've been put in positions in my life where I've just been like, I surrender. Like I can't fight this. Part of that realization of like my mortality again was when I literally hit rock bottom. I was homeless. Some dude was trying to kill me. I got super sick. I was coughing so much. My ribs hurt. I got hospitalized because I had freaking pneumonia. And like I remember just like saying like, okay, God, like I surrender. I need help, And I think that we're eventually all going to get to a point in our lives when we are, there's a saying in Spanish, Dios aprieta pero no ahorca. God squeezes, but he doesn't choke, you know? And so I personally believe that we're at that stage, you know, where God is putting pressure and making a lot of us realize, dude, we've had it all wrong. We haven't been taking care of each other. We haven't been taking care of our planet. We've been assholes. We've been, you know, like, the systems are rigged. It's amazing how much like all these things that people said, oh, things will never happen, like they were able to make it happen. Like no one's paying rent as far as I know. Like I'm not paying rent, you know. I'm like, fuck it, you know. They canceled all kinds of stuff. They've bailed out the banks almost as much as they're bailing out the rest of the people in the United States. So you can see where the priorities are. You know, you're starting to see a lot of stuff that
Stop rubbing your eye. You have glasses. What are you doing? See?
I don't know. I went on a rant, but I think that we should use this time to reflect on mortality. And how close to it we actually are, and appreciate those people that maybe we haven't appreciated, and try to help out instead of just sitting here, you know, and feeling sorry for ourselves and making it all about us, you know.
I think that's a great way to think about it, you know. So to answer your question, I'm a non-practicing Catholic. I was raised first 18 years of my life, very hardcore Catholic in a very Catholic family.
Same.
Yeah. So
same.
You know, church a couple times a week, and all the classes and all the youth stuff. So I'm pretty well versed in on the religious side, but you know, it's so hard to get people to march together in the same direction to accomplish anything when you've got everything from ego to economic drivers to you name it, and it gets in the way, right? To see what's happening right now with people pulling together and trying to, you know, at the most basic level, get supplies to hospitals and like people on the front line. There's still this, you know, economic driver that's in the way. You know, Tania, earlier you said you bought that bottle of hand sanitizer for, what'd you say,
$1.99.
Yeah,
that was 99-cent store hand sanitizer,
and now it's $10.
It's
you know,
$10.
like those Matt Cuomo just went on. You know, he did his briefing today, and he said the N95 masks are supposed to be 70 cents, and they're not 70 cents anymore. So there's all these different things that get in the way, and I think if we're going to survive as a group, if we're going to survive as a species, we have to figure out how to all march in the same direction, because people are not, this is temporary. Like, people are not meant to live on this earth forever. You know, we've gone through so many different cycles where beings and animals and creatures come and go, and we are so temporary. We've had like a really good run, probably the best run out of anything on the planet, you know, that we know of. People
of human race,
yeah,
I'd say our generation, the generation of this time too, especially after what the Great Depression, these last 70, 80 years, right? Been pretty good.
I'm talking about millions of years.
Oh, millions.
You know, like yeah, we made it to the top. We made it, you know, like as far as being able to
evolve,
control resources, evolve, communicate. Like we've made it to the top of what we know, you know. And if we're going to continue, we got to figure out how to work together. And I think the idea of getting downloaded into a hard drive, it's real cold and it's real impersonal, but and there's a gazillion different ways you can theorize on how that scenario would get set up, but it has to get set up in a way where we're not aware that we're on a hard drive. You know, like we can't know that it's happening. It has to be a simulation. That's the only way it works.
Like, I personally believe we're already in a simulation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
God's simulation. Like this thing that we don't really understand, like that's basically like my belief that we're already in a simulation where God can see everything, like everything we've ever done, everything that we've ever said, because we're basically running on that. We're basically running on God's programming language, and so we're constantly trying to become that God's image. Like subconsciously, we're constantly trying to, like, our movies all play out the same story, the hero, the hero archetype, and all that stuff comes from the same source, and we're just kind of like continuously playing it. And the thing is, like you guys mentioned, that we're kind of at the best we've ever known, and like I think that most of the people that have lived ever have thought that they were in that same place when they were going through it. Someone in the 1930s thought like, oh, we're at the pinnacle, like we're the Industrial Revolution, we're making, like, we've all thought about that, but how has the human condition actually improved? How has our world actually improved? And the thing is that you guys mentioned that, since the Depression and this and that, but like, look at half of the world and how they're living. I mentioned India and my concern for like what's going to happen there if the virus actually takes off there. And because I have gone to very, very poor areas of the world, and I've seen how other people live, and I see that happiness is not necessarily associated with having money. I can tell you, like, we in America in the United States are very unhappy people as a whole, generalizing here, because in other parts of the world, they value things differently. They don't value work or money the same way that we do. They value, like, I remember going to Mexico and seeing a grandmother of like maybe 87 years old sitting outside, because it gets really hot in some of these houses. They're sitting outside, and there's like a 14-year-old girl chatting with her grandma. And I'm like, I can't remember the last time that happened until now. You know what I mean? Like, now we're using technology to like check up on each other. But when was the last time that you went to go and visit, your parents, your grandparents? Like, for most of us, it's like, it's rare, it's now, I think like we're becoming like, oh shoot, my parents are in danger of, they're in that age group, or they have the ailments that this virus is hitting. And now we're like, oh shoot, they could be gone, and have I made the best of my time here on earth with those? Have I been valuing the things that I should be valuing? And like, I've had to come to terms with that, because I'm like, dude, I've been focusing so much on work that I haven't been focusing on the human connection. Like, I got sucked into that. Like, I gotta progress, and like, and it's all wrong. So coming out of this, I really hope something changes. Like, I want to become more involved in helping, not just being part of the problem, and I think we're all part of the problem, to be honest.
I think when we get into May, I think is when we're going to start seeing people come together around their communities. And we're going to start seeing like neighbors really starting to take care of each other. If I have water and you have toilet paper, we may not have ever talked in the past, but you live 2 doors down from me, and now we're going to talk. This is going to be a really interesting month to sort of see how stuff shakes out. And, I think people, you're right. Like, people, I think right now they're going to change for the better. They're going to start just the perspective shift alone is intense.
Yeah.
My mom swung by the other day, yesterday, 2 days ago. And she dropped off some toilet paper. She was like, here, this is for you. I was like, oh my God, it's so nice to see you. and it sucked because I was talking to her through the door, right? Like Tanya came over, we were right, talking to you through the door. So there's a lot, just little things that have been taken for granted.
Yeah.
That now, I know for me personally, I really miss. And I think we're going to start to see people, really start to like cherish those things. And, the next time somebody hits me up to go out to karaoke at 9:00 at night, I'm not going to say no. I'll be like, yes,
we get out of the house, right? Out the motherfucking house.
You want to go see a shitty band? Okay,
let's go. Could you imagine once they open everything up, just the floodgates of everybody running out? Oh my God.
Do you think it's going to happen though? Do you think that it's going to go back to like, oh yeah, we can go back to doing what we were doing before?
I think the ones that don't take this seriously and aren't taking this seriously and that like to drink are going to be the first ones out there, like partying it up. I think the rest of everyone else that doesn't drink knows that this is serious and knows that it's still out there possibly are not going to go out.
There's a cat in Japan there's a cat in China that's been recording and documenting sort of the social comeback in the country. And there's phases, right? So there's the initial phase after they lifted the lockdown is exactly what you would think. It was everybody was like, I'm not going back outside. I'm fucking scared. Right.
Yeah.
And so then they slowly started to warm up. And then they slowly started to come out. And so their face-to-face social time is now slowly starting to ramp back up. They haven't thrown any parties yet, but like, I think personally, I think Coachella is going to go off this year. I think those like designated groups of big people that are going to have, big events that are going to happen towards the end of the year, I think are going to pop off, but we're going to have a really, really slow ramp up. Like, everybody in the entertainment industry that's like right now that's rescheduling for like June and July and August, these big shows, like everybody was going to go on tour this year. Guns N' Roses was going out. Rammstein was coming.
Lunatics was coming back. Like,
Motley Crue, fucking Motley Crue.
Again? Oh, so their third comeback this decade.
Tool just canceled a bunch of their stuff. So like everybody that's doing those like big stadium shows, man, like immediately afterwards, I think they're going to be playing to really, really light audiences.
I think that we tend as humans, like we have that unique ability to imagine a future, but dude, what's to say that this thing is not going to get worse, that it's all going to end. Like,
not just that, everybody's counting on, oh yeah, it's gonna open back up June the latest. What if we're locked down for a year? What if we're on lockdown this whole time? What's gonna happen around us? How is society gonna handle not being able to have enough money, enough food? Not only that, did you see? Oh my God, I don't mean to laugh, but this was hilarious. Okay. So they were doing a press conference yesterday. It was bad, but they were doing a press conference where the city was announcing that LAUSD was going to close down schools for the rest of the year and that kids were going to have to online distance learn. And in the same breath, they also said that Children's Services is open and taking calls for any youths that could possibly
domestic abuse is going up. Child abuse is probably going to go up. It's just like you're confined.
Yeah.
I mean, like teachers, I was a horrible student, so I feel for teachers, but now those parents are like, oh, you thought you had an angel, huh? Well, now you're dealing with your angel 24/7. Like,
oh, right.
Have some real conversations, but anyway, I think it's there's a lot of stuff that I think we need to re-examine as individuals, like each one's going to go through a different process. But for me, what I'm taking away from this is like, um, I need to value different things that I probably took for granted a little bit more, you know.
Ooh, like what?
I've always been close to my family, you know. So like what really hit me when it was like finally like, oh shoot, you know, like this coronavirus thing is real, is when I went to my mom's, and because she sent me a message saying like, hey, there's some stuff coming in the mail, come pick it up. And on my way there I was like, wait, like I shouldn't have any contact with my mom, because I told you, like I was out that Sunday, and I remember I was like, you know what, 14 days, you could not be showing signs or whatever. And I was like, imagine being the reason your parent or your grandparent dies.
Ooh.
Like imagine the weight.
That's happening. That's happening.
Oh yeah, dude.
Happening.
It's happening. It's happening to young people. Like a lot of, including myself, like, oh, this hits older people. Like, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not young anymore. And I almost freaking went with the pneumonia when I got sick a few years ago. You know, like what makes me think that I would have survived something like this? You know what I mean? Where it finally dawned on me. So my health is something that I had already been trying to figure out, you know, and like, so I'm with you, you know, like try to eat healthier and all that stuff. But even more important than the physical health is the mental health, and the mental health of those people around me, and checking in on those people. And I'm guilty of it. Like there's people that I don't check up on because I assume that they're okay. Mm-hmm. I assume they're very strong people. Did you know Jay Cortez? Jay Cortez, he passed away a few weeks ago. He was in our circle, but anyway, he passed away, and it was a shock because I was like, dude, what happened? You know, he seemed fine, he seemed strong, like, and I mean, still to this day, I don't know exactly how he passed away, but he was younger than me, you know. And
this just happened?
Yeah. And then, you know, there's been other people that have just like, there's one person that I know that committed suicide, and I'm like, dude, overall, like I thought they were strong. No. This is just, you know, in the past maybe 6 months or so. Oh. But it's like you would assume these people are strong, so you don't check up on the people that you think are strong, and like there's so much weight on them, you know. So like just not taking stuff like that for granted. So, you know, I actually sent 2 people that I can consider, you know, pretty strong people, but that have a lot of weight on them right now. And I actually 3 people, and I sent them a message, you know, like, hey, in case it doesn't get said enough, like you're doing a great job, and you're, you know, like, let me know how I can help. You know what I mean? Like, don't assume that you always have to help the people that are just maybe doing worse than you, but like also check up on the people that you would assume are doing better than you, because you never know. Like, dude, like people, like huge musicians that you thought like, man, they have everything, they got money, like, you know, Chester from Linkin Park, and freaking what's his name from Audioslave? I'm blanking out on his name.
Chris Cornell.
Like, Chris Cornell, like, oh my God, I can't believe I blanked on his name. Like all these people that you would think like, oh man, they got money, they got fame, they got, and they're like, they're killing themselves, you know, because that is not where happiness is. The things that we value are not always the things that make us happy. Like where we place that value is not what's going to make us happy, you know? So anyway, that's that. I'm going to get off my soapbox.
Get off that soapbox and take out that soap.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Eddie, it's been great having you. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. I think you're a record breaker, huh, Jimmy James?
Shit, I talk a lot is basically.
Oh, no, dude, if you want, we could keep going in another hour. We could start talking about grocery ads and where's the best place to go stand in line for your...
No.
I'll tell you what.
I'm sure you're gonna be able to edit this down to like 1.5 hours.
We're not editing it. We're putting it all up. There's no
editing. Shit.
I don't know, Eddie. You're dropping some heavy stuff. I feel like I got to go through my my contacts list and start texting some people that I haven't talked to in a long time.
And just check in.
Yeah, just check in, dude. This is the time to do. You ain't got shit to do.
That's true.
Jimmy James.
That's true. That's true.
I got shit to do.
you got a kid at home, right? How old is your kid?
She's gonna be 4. She's gonna be 4 at the end of June.
So value that, man. Treasure that. So
yeah. But, he gets all kinds of daddy time.
Yeah.
He's super daddy.
For being considered a comedian, that wasn't very funny today.
What do you mean?
It's deep. It's the part of my brain, dude, that I'm just like always I'm constantly thinking,
No, dude, it was great. This is what it is. We're just talking shit. And right now there's really nothing else to talk about. Like I had mentioned this last episode, but Desiree Contreras from Chopped Up Cherries, she put up a thing on Facebook and she said, what did we even talk about before this? Like, it makes so much sense. Like, what? There's, again, I feel bad for everyone out there who doesn't like who they have to quarantine with. Shout out to all the husbands who can't get out to see their side chicks out there. I know you guys are suffering too.
Chinese divorce rates went up 25% during the lockdown.
Really?
Yep.
Chinese.
Wow.
25? That's it?
25%.
That's kind of high for China.
For that culture, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, even if you don't have a significant other, like being locked up by yourself and you can distract yourself or you can like work on yourself. There's a thing that I posted the other day, like if you don't come out of this with a new skill, new side hustle or whatever, you didn't lack time, you lacked discipline.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely true, and I think that, we should come out of this hopefully loving ourselves a little bit more, and if we don't, then we got
absolutely. And there's a lot of people right now that are working on themselves and distracting themselves at the same time.
Oh, you know what? I want to actually, before we go, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the way that people can use this time to evolve themselves. So check out at Hot 8 Yoga, HOT8 Yoga. They actually put out billboards that they're giving out free yoga, but it's a really cool yoga studio, and they're on probably like 3 to 4 times a day from the studio, and they're social distancing. Also add We Are Sacred Light. That's the homegirl Arlene. She does sound baths. You go on Eventbrite and you pay for the ticket. It's $10 instead of usual. Sound baths are usually $45, $55 live, but you're getting the meditation that you listen to after the meditation that she does on Instagram Live. And also to Masterclass. If you guys have heard of Masterclass, they are giving away Jimmy James. I'm going to be getting this. Okay. Yeah. And because you took care of me last year, I'm going to take care of you this year.
Ooh.
So, so I'm getting Masterclass. I'm getting you the password. Yep. But please do it this year. I think I took more advantage of it last year.
They just added Penn and Teller, and I'm like, okay.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, I want to know how to. Yeah.
So it's
I'm into that.
If you guys go to masterclass.com, it's $180. You guys have everything. You can learn to cook from Gordon Ramsay, or you can learn to sing from Christina Aguilera, or you can learn FBI interrogation tactics from Christopher Voss. That's the one that I want to know. It's like that way when I get out of quarantine, I know, how is this son of a bitch lying? Let me see. Let me break it down. That way I'm going to be prepared in the art of relationships.
Tell me what you really did in those 2 months.
Tell me what you do in those 2 months. Also to look up the piano app. If you guys want to learn how to play piano and you guys have an iPad, it's called the piano app. They're doing it for free. I've been teaching myself how to play piano. And I'm actually quite good. So there's a little bit of everything, you guys. It's up to you guys if you want to use these tools to work on yourself. Why not?
Love it. All right, let's wrap this. Let's wrap this present up.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Eddie G, thank you so much. Please tell people where they can find you and tell them about your new song that you put out too.
All right. So yeah, I do comedy. Normally. But so on everything it's OMG. It's Eddie G. OMGITS EDDIEG. And I have a character named Tiburcio, which is strictly comedy. I don't get too philosophical there or anything, but show that Tiburcio. I'm hoping that you'll link them up after the podcast. And yeah, we did a video. I did a video because I couldn't get anyone to help me shoot it, but it's a video on hoarding of toilet paper. Subtitles in English, so looking out for people out there who don't speak Spanish. So go check it out. showdetiburcio.com.
Yep. And if you get a chance, be sure to go on YouTube and look up Tiburcio, look up the Pokemon skit. You guys are going to love that one.
Yeah, just type in Pokemon and Mexican, you'll come up.
Okay, perfect. And Jimmy James, tell them where they can find you.
They can find me here.
At Universal Smoothness.
Yeah.
At Universal
Post up once in a while on Instagram, but yeah, if you want to come see a picture of a cute little kid, Universal Smoothness on Instagram.
Oh, Jimmy James, and I want to show you. I went to storage today, and look what I pulled up. Look what I brought home.
Oh yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy.
It's our band picture. We had this in the band room, and when we broke down for the fall, I got to bring this home. So I had put it in storage, had it safely put away, and I pulled it out today. I was like, "Oh,
there you go. Hang him by your door."
Yep. All right, you guys. I'm Tania Estrada, and this was Talking Shit. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 3. Stay safe out there, and remember, if you're gonna try to have sex during this quarantine, make sure to do it doggy style because at least your faces will be 6 feet apart. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.